Hi everyone. Previously we set up this layered material where we can control and blend things through a height. And now, not only can we blend it through a height, but thanks to Unreal 5.3, we can also dynamically adjust the displacement of it. So, let me show you how to do this. Unlike normally, I am actually starting from the tutorial I have made before, setting up this layered height blend that I've done in the past. The tutorial for which is down below in the description and in the card in the top right if I remember to put it there. But basically, you don't need to watch the full thing, as the blueprint part we are now going to be needing anymore, but it could be useful if you plan to use it in 5.2. This is how to take that setup and now bring it over to 5.3. So the first thing you're going to need to do is, once you've converted your project or started up your project in 5.3, and you need to open your DefaultEngine.ini. And the location for this is inside of your project folder, and then config, and then DefaultEngine.ini. You're going to want to open that and add r.Nanite.AllowTessellation equals 1 and r.Nanite.Tessellation equals 1 to the engine.render settings section. I'm going to, of course, have these two in the description below as well. So you just copy paste these in, so you don't need to worry about mistyping them. And then launch your project again. And once you do, we'll be here. Let's get started actually converting this. So the actual conversion for this is actually pretty easy. What we're going to do is open our original height blend, where we originally were taking our setup and putting it all into emissive color. Well, emissive color is not needed anymore because we're now going to be using the blueprint to bake the texture into a render target and then use that. Instead, what we can do is kill this section and then kill the emissive color. We do not need the emissive color anymore. I'll delete that. And then our height, we can plug in, instead of into emissive color, we're going to plug it into displacement, which is now a new thing that is here in 5.3. And plug this in. Next thing we need to do is take this, which we originally made a copy of this mesh, and we gave it a displacement map here. And I'm going to go ahead and clear this out and make it a default nanite plane. I'll even reset this back to default. And already you can see we have displacement, even though it is off on this piece. There's no actual displacement on this. And the way you know if it's working is if you open up that material, the original base one, down here on the side, if I scroll down, there is a displacement section under Nanite now with a magnitude and center. So if I change this magnitude to, let's say, 8, and then hit apply, you can see it is now much stronger. And if I change it to 2, it'll be much weaker, as you can see. Now, there are some notes about this, and I want to show you a few workarounds for some issues that are happening with it right now. So if I want to make adjustments to this, you would think in the instance, under the details, you can go under material property overrides, and there's a displacement scaling. You can check this and then override it. And let's say this to 10, 2, 1. And as you can see, changing this value is doing nothing. This currently doesn't work. The overriding in the displacement here doesn't work, but it does in the original material. What I was thinking is a way of controlling the strength of this is by, instead of plugging it directly, you take this and then you remap it using two scalar parameters. I'm going to call it displacement low and displacement high. High having a default value of 1, and I'll plug these into the target. And now in the instance, if I want to have this stronger, I can increase the displacement high, or I can change displacement low. I can make this, for example, between 0.3 and 0.6. Sometimes if you change these values, you can see it looks like there's errors, but that's actually not the case. If I fly out and fly back in and just readjust the camera, it is now fine again. So it's just a visual bug that happens if you adjust these settings. If I change this to, for example, 1 now again, right, it's fine. Now you might notice that if you push this height very high, let's say 10, it actually becomes flat. And the reason is it is now pretty much clamping at 1 because the displacement is from 0 to 1. And I multiplied everything effectively by 10. And so anything that was on the ground is now flat on top. So this is not the best to increase it, but it works to decrease it. So if I, instead of cranking this up to 10, I can go into the original material, and in here, I can go and set the magnitude to something really high, like 40. Right? It's crazy here. And then I can change this to 0.6, 0.4. And now I have a more reasonable setup here that I can now tweak and control in intensity. So it's not a perfect system for this, but unfortunately, because this setting here, the override, doesn't work at the current moment, I'm sure it'll be patched in the future. This is my best alternative that I think works decently well for what we need. But there you go. This is how you get now dynamic layering. And again, with my setup, you can go in here, control where things blend, and you can see it automatically pushes and pulls where it needs to displace. And if there's a visual bug, you just can fly out, fly back in, and it gets reset. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you guys liked it, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.